Hello friends, so all the way through and in with the three ways you can't go wrong. The three ways, different perspectives. What I love about our live sessions with Glenn and Sandy is that we don't really prepare any topic and we talk authentic as we love it. Okay, here they are. We usually talk about our week, how it has been, and then we talk about interesting topics. Ciao, Sandy.
Hello, hello.
Hello, you two. What's going on?
We all promised to see you guys.
We all wore black today. Everybody's in black.
Kind of gray, but it's black. Close enough. Close enough. Amazing. Another Thursday edition to our crazy world. Right? So what's going on? What is our topic today?
Well, what I was saying before to our friends is that we don't really prepare any topic because we love talking to each other. But of course, we can decide it now, at the moment, together.
Okay. Well, let me start with my announcement. I finally launched it. It's finally up.
Amazing.
I know. My first training course. I'm so excited to start that at the end of the month.
Tell us more about this. Dear friends, Glenn just launched his amazing program to become a hypnotherapist and so much more. Tell us, Glenn.
So I'm going to train other hypnotherapists with all the things I wish I would have known when I started this journey. You know, Sandy, you and I, we had a great foundation, but we also had to learn so many things on our own. And through our own trials and error, through what works, through what doesn't work, cutting out a lot of the useless BS that's taught and getting right to what's most effective. And this is going to be 4 hours, 4 Sundays in a row. So 16 hours of live training. I'm going to have somebody with me. I'm going to be live on Zoom, and it's going to be professionally taped so everybody afterwards can listen to it and watch it again to pick up what they may have missed. And I'm just really excited to be able to jump into this world and share it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anybody watching that has ever thought about being a hypnotherapist or wants to upgrade their skill set or even add to it, that's what we're going to be doing. So I am super excited.
It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. And you know, of course, I went to yoga teacher training. I went to 1,000 different ones. I'm certified in all of the yogas. And every time I did a training, there were always people in the training who said, I have no plans to ever be a teacher. I just really want to learn more about this, right? And Francesca, that's sort of how you started with hypnotherapy. You said, I'm not interested necessarily in ever being a hypnotherapist, but I really want to learn more about this. And so I think, Glenn.
Well, I was always interested because I love any therapy that doesn't include any medicine, any dependency, anything that brings you necessarily to the past, even though we know it's very important, but brings you to the exact present and consciousness and enhance your skills, which hypnotherapy does. So I've been always interested, but then during COVID, I got more passionate because, of course, we had more time to dip into it.
Exactly. And I love that you did because we all found each other. And now, Glenn, I'm interested to know who might benefit from your hypnotherapy course, even if they're not planning to become a hypnotherapist.
It would be anybody that wants a better understanding of how our mind works. Even a regular therapist that maybe doesn't want to do hypnotherapy, but that wants to just understand it more and incorporate some of the techniques that we're going to learn. And there's also going to be functional NLP inside it. So much of NLP is just only meant for the class. So many of the techniques that we learned in NLP, you would never, ever use in the real world. But there is a lot of amazing gems within NLP. So I'm going to throw that into the training as well. So I'm not calling it an NLP class, but it's going to be sprinkled with the most powerful parts of NLP that I've learned and used. So it's really
it's so amazing also, guys, that you went to the same school and we are finding each other here again and you study in the same school. It is so beautiful. Such a beautiful sign. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, we've never met in person.
Exactly. I know.
Yeah. Soon enough. But yeah, so that's anybody interested. The link's in my bio on the Instagram. I have to change one date because I didn't realize the 9th was Easter Sunday. So it'll be 1 week off in the middle, which will be good. People can review. So it'll be 2 weeks, 1 week off, 2 weeks.
And even if somebody takes your course, but they miss a week, it's all recorded so they can go back and get whatever they missed.
Yeah, but I want people there because the interaction is going to give it the classroom feel. The questions that they have that I wouldn't think of on my own, it'll be great. So,
all right.
Something very true, Glenn, that people, they don't have to be hypnotherapists necessarily, but they can be curious about it, this course, to understand the power of it, the power of our mind.
Right.
Yeah,
and so, Glenn, when you talk about NLP, sometimes people don't even know what you're saying. It's neuro-linguistic programming. You still don't even need to remember those words. Bottom line is every single person, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, it teaches you how to understand how your mind works, how other people's minds work, and how to communicate accordingly. So it's good for salespeople. It's good for doctors. It's good for you if you're in college. It's good for you if you're older and you're trying to figure out why your marriage hasn't worked yet. So you're teaching techniques that no matter who you are, no matter what you do, people can really benefit. And that's why I want to keep pushing the fact that even if somebody doesn't want to necessarily become a hypnotherapist, so many of my clients are therapists. So many of my clients are doctors, right? And people who want to improve their sales skills and things like that. So go learn it. And what is the price? Because it's really outrageously low. I wanted you to charge more.
It's online, and I wanted it to be there. It's $5.99, and that'll give them 1 year access to all of the videos after the course is over. I also have a whole section of resources and forms. So client intake forms, referral forms. I'm going to have a bunch of resources as well. So right after the course and a little bit of practice, anybody can get up and running and starting their career. And then after level 1, we'll do a level 2. And that will be for some of the more advanced kind of things like trauma work and some of the things that you need some practice first in your hypnotherapy business before you tackle some of those more intense areas that we get to deal with every day in our lives.
Exactly. We all do, dear friends, don't worry.
Where can people sign up for your course right now?
Right now, just link in bio right on the Instagram tab. On my bio, it's right there on my tree, and it's on my site. I'm going to change that one date after our live today, but that won't affect it.
And also, friends, don't forget that also Glenn was a musician and also always in touch with people. So he has this empathetic, soulful approach to this hypnotherapy, of course, as Sandy does in her own method, which is very special of both of you guys. And so that's why I believe each of us has his own method, which is so unique and so amazing. Looking at the background also of Glenn, for example.
So thank you guys for letting me share that. That's my news for the moment.
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to do it. I am in awe of Glenn. Genuinely. The first time we met on the phone, we were going to talk for 5 minutes. It ended up being an hour. It was like an I love you fest. And
yeah, me too, guys.
Yeah. So can we go right on this topic? And wait, actually, I want to say one more thing about it. So because this recording right here, we're live right in the moment, but if you're listening later, lives on the internet and lives in your podcast platform. If you're hearing this now and you're wanting to study with Glenn, again, if you missed it, you can still, I'm sure, Glenn, right, purchase it and go back and relearn it. Yeah. And then so it'll always be available.
Yeah. Yeah, it serves two purposes. I'm doing it live one time, and then it's being professionally recorded so people can purchase it and have the same experience at their own pace after it's over. So it will live forever and be there.
And also for people that will attend this course, I believe they can explore this hypnotic sensation in their daily life with food. As we know, it's a state of mind, it's an approach to life also to activate our imagination and to explore senses consciously. Thanks to hypnosis, exactly.
Yeah.
So what a great place to start. What an actual topic, Francesca, because you said you found hypnotherapy mostly in the pandemic, which was only recently because of your curiosity. How do you use it in your life? How do you use it with clients, even though you're not a hypnotherapist?
I am an hypnotherapist, but I don't define myself an hypnotherapist because I believe it's not enough the certification, but lots of experience behind, for sure, as anything that is about therapies. So that's why I always say life coach, because for hypnotherapy, you need to use the right approach for every person. You have to understand if it's auditive, visual. So there is so much depth behind. So what I do, as I'm very creative and less maybe intellectual focus, I love creating these experiences with food. During dinners, I put them in trance with the smell, of course, with what they see, but also with my voice. So I guide them through relationship matters, mostly older women, I have to say, through hypnosis with food. So as we know, hypnosis awakens our senses. So what's better to have food in front of you, to touch, to smell, to cut, to create the shape, while being guided toward the relationship matters.
It sounds a whole lot like you just said hypnosis combined with food is a replacement for men. And you're using this mostly with older women? It's fantastic.
I actually, because men, they see it often too sexual, and so for me it's very funny. So I do it, of course, for fun with friends, but women do it more consciously, as men, of course, take it for fun. And so I wanted to explore it deeply, therapeutically also, with older women was easier.
I love it. So I have a question I want both of you to answer. Start with Francesca. Give us right now, there's obviously not just one. And Sandy, you can think about it. You'll have probably 30, but we'll just start with one. Give us one of your most important, for you, one of your most important life lessons so far.
Mine?
Yeah, one of yours. What's one of yours? Doesn't have to be, just one. Give us one of your special life lessons that you've learned so far.
To never look at the facts, but always see beyond.
Say it one more time.
Never look at the facts, but always see beyond.
Never look at the facts, but always see beyond.
See.
They say 75% or more of all communication is the nonverbal, and I think that's what you're saying.
I'm saying that sometimes what we see is not necessarily what it is. As I truly grew up in a family that was very severe, very judgmental sometimes, and I actually hate judgments, but I love expressing my feelings. I believe we always have to say things we feel, but of course can look like a judgment, but it's not. So I love to express what I think, but also to change my mind. I'm very adaptable, so I believe the most important lesson of life is to stand for yourself, believe in what you say, but also being able to change your mind, as facts sometimes are not what they seem to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Good one.
Thank you, Lenina. Well, that's my lesson of life also, along my journey, exactly.
It
so
is.
Interesting, because you also hear people say the exact opposite. They'll say, listen to what people tell you. Listen to what people tell you, because they always reveal themselves. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
no,
not often actually. People trust me a lot. I'm a bit of a boss sometimes. But
no.
Because people made me feel like this. People trust me a lot. So, of course, we become what you experience. And because I've been always independent in my mind and in general, I've been always... I never ask for advices, truly. But I learn through mistakes.
Yeah. That's a great...
You know what they say about a master? You know what they say about a master, Francesca? The definition of a master is someone who's made all the mistakes. So, hello, master.
Hello, masters.
That's great. Give us one of yours, Miss.
I love how Sandy talks. Sometimes it's hypnotic.
I don't know
if just to put another button. What's that, Glenn?
You're never going to be able to pick just one. I know it, but that's okay.
Well, I'm not going to get to mine yet. I really like Francesca's, because she said, don't take anything necessarily at face value. Yes, and the opposite also holds true, which is what I was saying before. People tell you, listen to what people say and watch what people do, because they always tell you, and that's NLP. That's really looking at how they see the world and how they operate in the world, which reveals their belief system. Can I ask you guys a question before I answer this one? The question is, what percentage of all the relationships you've ever been in all your relationships, how often did you know within the first week why you'd break up?
Break up or bonding? Both or only break up?
Basically, what I'm saying is you always know within the first week why you're going to break up. You just always know.
I never know at the beginning.
Well, let me ask that question a different way to you then, Francesca.
Okay.
Sometimes in the beginning, we overlook the things that we see, but we don't really want to see them. And then down the road, those same things that are there at the end that break you up were there right in the beginning when you met, but you overlook them. I think that's a better way to ask it. What do you think?
I believe as the essence is infinite, you can truly don't know if you're going to break up or not, because then there is this transformation going on. It's like putting a person in a box. So people can break up and then come back together, or people can have different sensations at the beginning, then they transform along the journey. I think for me, I never know if I'm going to break up or not, any relationship, but what I know, I get the essence of someone immediately.
I can tell you with 100% certainty that all of my relationships have ended except for one.
You're with yourself, Sandra.
Yeah. No, with Jen. And you know,
I'm joking.
So these red flags that I know. I've broken up with myself plenty of times.
No, me too.
I've also been my best lover.
So why you don't break up? Why did you? So guys, you don't agree with me or yes? So why do you think you can truly tell if there is going to be a breakup or not?
Well, here's what I can share with you in my own experiences. Like with my ex-wife, the behavior that I saw in the beginning that really didn't feel healthy to me, I ignored. I thought, that's going to get better. It's going to go away. She's going to grow. We're going to grow together. But no, her characteristics that she had that didn't work for me in the beginning, I ignored. There were definitely behaviors, not all of it. I mean, there was some amazing qualities to her as well. But there was another side that I'm like, well, maybe that side will go away. It's not important. And instead of challenging her or putting a boundary up, saying, listen, the way you're acting and the way you just said that and did that doesn't work for me. And you can either look at that and want to change it, or we're not going to be together. But I'm not going to ignore it and pretend that it's going to go away. I didn't have the backbone to do that then. I have that backbone now 100%. I'll never overlook those things. So when Sandy says the things that broke you up in the end were usually there in the beginning, there were patterns in her behavior. There was and I have no reason to speak bad about her. I still hold a huge space of love for her and we're great friends. But there was an unreasonability to a temper. There was also, I believe you can say what you mean in life without saying it mean. That's really my best thing. That wasn't really what she believes. So when someone gets angry and, well, I have a right to say what I want because I'm angry. Well, to a point, But I think we talked about this at another time where people throw bricks and say hurtful things just because they're mad. And those things I ignored. And those are the most important foundations for me. And I'm like, why did I ignore? Why did I ignore the most important things for me in the beginning of this relationship? And the truth is, for her, if I don't really lay that out as a boundary, I'm not doing her justice either, because then she can either look at it or not. But if I don't state it, I don't give her the opportunity to grow either. If I accept it, I keep her in that pattern as well. And that's something I think all of us...
and that's misrepresenting yourself. By the way, somebody named I said, your looks are incredible. So, Glenn, I thought you should know.
Yeah, it is true that you bring her back to the pattern, Glenn, but what becomes visible can be fixed better. I believe it's very human to bring people into the same pattern, mostly if there is a felt deep connection as a daughter, as a lover, can be anyone. But if we don't bring it visible, because there is nothing wrong at the end of the day, as we say, there is not right and wrong, so we have to bring up what is visible, then to be transformed, or it can stay where it is. But the illusion is the problem. There is Hypno India. Do you want me to accept it now, guys?
Wait, let me just, I need to say what you
sorry,
just said.
I accepted you. Oh,
I love the way you said that. you said what becomes visible can be made better. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hypno
bud.
Guru.
Hello. Hi.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, good. I just want to say real quick, I don't agree with that last statement, said
Ah.
with love, but we'll get back to it. So
Okay.
remind me, it's about
Please
changing
tell
other
us why,
people.
Sandy. Sorry, Hypno India. Tell us, Sandy.
Hey, bud.
Hi. So what are we discussing today? Well, what are we talking about?
Well, you're a
Sorry, I
magician.
just
You're a magician, so this is perfect. Can you use your magic to change other people's behavior?
okay. So yes,
Thank you, Ellie.
I can influence your behavior right now. I can influence your decision.
I love
Let's
it.
play.
I sent somebody to you. I don't know if they contacted you or not, but somebody was looking for a hypnotherapist in India. I said, well, there's only one, and this is the guy you're going to go to. So I sent them your Instagram profile. So I
Oh,
don't know.
thank you so much. So like coming to the point, Sandy just mentioned. So she said, can you change somebody's behavior? Okay. So I can do this quick little trick for you. So I have a prediction here, which I'm going to keep here completely safe. Okay. And I'm going to show you all the cards. Let me check if I have all the cards here because I keep. Okay, fine. So see, all the cards are different, right, Sandy? You can see.
Okay. Wait, you're changing my
Okay.
behavior? This is going to be fun.
Yep.
No, it's not. I'm talking about it's just a trick. I'm just showing you how I can influence your choice. Okay,
You
so I'm
can
going to shuffle these
influence
cards.
me. Good luck
Behavior.
influencing Francesca. Francesca is a steel wall.
Okay. Okay, Francesca,
It depends.
tell me when you are happy that the cards are completely mixed. Tell me when you feel that the cards are completely mixed. I'm shuffling them.
Wait, who's telling you?
You are, Sandy.
Oh, done. I was looking at Francesca.
Okay. So there are like 52 cards. Francesca, tell me any number between 1 and 52.
38.
38. All right. You want to change your mind or you're happy with this number?
I'm very happy.
All right. So I'm going to count 38 because that's going to be a boring task. But okay, fine. So 38. 38. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You said 38. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34,
I'm watching the
35,
bottom card.
36,
Watching
37,
the bottom card.
38. 38. So
Okay.
38. Okay, and this is 4 of diamonds, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a fair choice. And remember, I had this card as a prediction. I made a prediction.
No. No, I can't believe it. I can't.
4 of diamonds. 4 of diamonds.
No, I would love to know the trick. Of course, don't say it. But it's incredible.
So yeah, you were saying something. Please go ahead.
Let's
Wow.
ask you the same question Sandy just asked Francesca and myself. All right? So how did you ask that question, Sandy? About relationships?
You've dated a number of people, I imagine. Yes? Yes. You've dated many people, or you've only ever... Yes, you've been out with more than one person?
Talking about me? Asking?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So what percentage of those people did you know in the first week how you were going to break up? It's a hard, I'm not asking it well, right? But in the first week of dating somebody, how often do you know the reason you're going to end up breaking up?
Almost with everyone.
Bingo.
There you
But
go.
then your approach to relationship is not conscious. So because if you consciously date someone, it's because you see something for the future. Otherwise, of course, I know I'm going to break up after 1 week.
Okay. So what I think it's more about, see, you just mentioned when you take conscious decision. So there are two things happening at the same time. you choose someone consciously, but you like them subconsciously. There are certain things that completely based on your emotional decisions. So when you are thinking from your emotional mind, your intellect is hijacked by your emotions, right?
Yeah.
So you choose person consciously because you have that good that image of that person in your mind. So you must have heard that term called love at first sight. So how do we fall for someone when we see them for the very first time? Because we don't see that person for the very first time, we see a person whose image we have been holding in our mind. And when we see these two images matching each other, we kind of develop this instinct and connection. Yes, this is the person I was looking for. So
I
again,
think it
your
depends.
emotion is taking charge here.
It depends on your intuitional side also. It depends on how much experience you have of people. It depends if you've been experiencing lots of relationships. It depends if you never felt in love, if you know what love is. It depends, I believe, in so many things.
Yeah, of course, it depends on your experience, but how do you get that experience? By meeting more and more people, right?
By living and seeing through, not exactly like we said before, not looking also only on the facet of the situation and the person, but truly deeply connecting, asking questions, talking deeply. Of course, not only by having
To
sex.
deeply connected to who?
To the person you are connecting at the moment. It can be a friend, it can be your family. It's a state, it's a conscious state of your being. So if you, since your childhood, you experience life connecting deeply, participating to the person you're talking to, participating to, you will feel so much more. It's about training.
So how about you say it in a different way? It's not about your connection with others. It's your connection with yourself. So it's always a journey that begins from you. Then you take that experience and you spread and you share with people. See, I've
Very good
heard it
point.
somewhere, and
Point.
and
Yes.
and I was talking to someone. He's a mentalist. So he just said something that this entire universe is a mind. We all are a universal mind. We just have our own parts. We just have our own segments, right? So it's emotion, knowledge, experience is always a universal entity. So it's you who has this fragrance, then you go and spread it, then you go and share it. If you
Right.
That's what I strongly believe.
I feel like a cat.
You just
It's an amazing
that
sketching that you're giving us this
the word
sensation of truth.
choice. The word choice.
Oh my god, I totally agree, and
I agree
right,
too.
it's like it's all one mind, and each individual person is an individual idea of that same mind. We have good ideas, we have bad ideas, and right, so yeah, totally. So let's ask you question number 2, which is sort of where we were heading right when you popped on with us, which is when you do within basically the first week recognize those things about somebody that aren't going to be a match for you ultimately. Do you change that? How do you change that? And you already said that you can influence others. I don't agree with that at all, by the way, but you think you can. So how do you do it?
No. So when I said I can influence others, that was actually a fun part. I just wanted to show that magic trick to you guys. I was ready with that because I was holding cards and you just shot that question at me. So I just wanted to answer that. So I just said that. Second thing, when I know that this person is like that, I don't have this tendency to change people. I mean, I had, but that's what life is all about. You learn to live with things, you learn to leave things, you learn to cope up with things, you learn to manipulate yourself, and you learn to develop yourself. So I nowadays, I mean, for past few years, I don't have this tendency to put myself in a stage where I am suffering because of others, and I try to change that person so that I may not suffer or I suffer less. I don't have this. I simply understand this, that if it's not working, it's not going to work.
Very wise,
The-
grasshopper.
That's very good. But Sandy, we absolutely
But I
influence
believe,
people. We're influenced all the time from our environment, and in very positive ways, we influence each other. through our life lessons, through what we share. Now,
Different
changing
than
someone,
assertion. Influence is different than assertion. You cannot assert
yeah,
your will. You can't manipulate and change someone.
yeah, no, we're talking
Me, I
influence
would say
only.
more than influencing, also we can get inspired, which is even deeper because ecco,
That's a better word.
is because we lack this inspirational motivation, and so we get influenced easily because there is a bit of a void, and so that's why it's very important not to be with toxic environments, because that's when we are deeply influenced in the wrong way. While if you get inspired, you know exactly what you're looking for, and then you add a value to what you already want to do.
Influence and inspiration, both the same thing, are doing one thing, and that the only thing inspiration and or influence can ever do, it's only one thing. And what it does is it points someone toward their own inner guidance. Mm-hmm. Because if they can't hear their own inner guidance, how do you think they can hear you? So when we are inspiring or influencing somebody, it's only because we're pointing them toward their own inner guidance. There is no assertion in that. It's like turning the light on for them, and they say, thank you for turning the light on.
But there is a difference. If I say I got influenced, I got inspired, for me there is a difference, and even in the meaning of it, like there is a
influence can be more than inspiration. Influence is the bigger picture, and the Venn diagram of that is inspiration is one way to influence.
Okay,
so inspiration can be that start. Inspiration can give you that push where you reach to a point where you are influenced, where you see the bigger picture, which Sandy is just talking about. So inspiration can give you that start. Also, there is one thing which I feel, you only get inspired from the people where you accept that they are better in certain ways from you. See, if you see somebody doing something which you think you can do, there are two things that can happen. One, jealousy. Like I see some good hypnotist performing better than me. If I accept he's better, then there is a chance that it becomes a motivation. It becomes inspiration. Yes, he is better. Now I would like to learn something from him. I think there is this fine line. You know somebody is better than you, but in few ways you are not directly connected with that person, but still they leave their influence on you. Like Glenn just said, we are always influenced. We are always influenced by situations, people, circumstances. There are many things. So yes, inspiration in the context that you were talking about. So like you just said that I can influence someone. No, I think the maximum thing, what is the maximum thing you can do for the person? You can inspire them to develop certain behavior in them, develop certain traits in them. That's the best thing you can do, but you cannot directly go and leave your influence on them. Because I think to influence someone, you need to dissociate yourself from that emotion, and you will have to show a brighter picture where they would willingly participate to adopt that picture in their life.
What you're describing is exactly the difference between inspiration, or rather influence. Influence is the bigger word. Influence versus assertion. Influence, yes, it's the only thing that makes change. Assertion cannot make change.
Yeah.
I believe both can make change. What do you think, Glenn?
I think many things can inspire us to change. Sometimes change comes from hitting rock bottom, and a negative situation in your life can spark the most positive change. And that does work for many, many people, especially in, recovery, where they've just hit rock bottom and their life has fallen apart. Other people, their health falls apart. They have that heart attack. Now they realize they need to change their lifestyle. Some people in a relationship, when a relationship turns violent, it is now time to end that relationship or fix that relationship because it can no longer continue. So sometimes we hit that brick wall, and that's how we change. It's much better if that doesn't have to happen, if we can do it through inspiration. And there always is a choice, like you were saying about, you can look at somebody that is further along the road than you are, and you can see them as inspiration to make you better, or you can also use that to defeat yourself, like I'll never be as good as them. We always have the choice on how we're going to let people influence our experience. It's much better to be inspired by people. You know, one of the things I learned, and I gave a talk on this, was you can look at this world of therapy, for example, and you can say, I want to be a great hypnotherapist. Well, God, there's so many hypnotherapists out there. How can I compete? Well, you don't need to compete. If there's many hypnotherapists out there, there's a reason they're out there, because it's needed.
Yeah.
And you can be a part of that in a positive way, or let that defeat you. Same with magicians. I mean, God, how many amazing magicians are there, right? How many amazing mentalists are there? But the thing is, they're there because they're fun, and they make people happy. They make people confused, and they fill us with wonder. We know magic isn't real. We know when David Copperfield makes a lion disappear, the lion didn't disappear. But the fun. What's that?
He didn't disappear? You ruined it for me. No, this is the end of my innocence right here.
I know. But
This couldn't reach to this ending without you, Sandy.
Yeah. It inspires us, though. It gives us a sense of wonder and fun.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be the best magician or mentalist, but if you like it, entertain people, share, enjoy it, and get as good as you want to, you know, versus comparing that. And that's how I think we can look at life in a much healthier way for all of us. So we didn't ask you this question. Let's ask you, give us, I know there's many, just give us one for you. What's one of your life lessons that really matters to you?
Okay, so life lesson is a very heavy term, I shall say, because
That's special. Doesn't have to be the one, just one of them.
the last message which I strongly believe I heard is the best message, which Buddha said, "Ap Deepo Bhava," means be your own light. That's it. So nobody is going to help you. Nobody is going to make things easy for you, or everybody is going to help you and everybody is going to make things easy for you. It's your perception only. If you think your competitors are your hurdles, you will again defeat yourself. You will end up feeling that you are not capable enough, or you will end up struggling with the situation where you are problem oriented. Or there is another way. You can look at your competition as a thirst, or as a push to, which push you to the limits where you can go beyond your limits and do something else. So the only thing you need for that is your own belief, your own faith in your abilities. Again, that's what Buddha said, "Up Deepo Bhava," means become your own light. I strongly believe in this.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. It was lovely, guys. It was lovely talking to you again. Every time I join with you guys, it's just amazing. So,
Absolutely.
bye, guys. Take care.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Hypnotherapist. Viva
Really
India!
good stuff.
Thanks for the magic trick.
Yes. All right, Sandy, it's your turn now.
So I'm going to give you just the very first thing that came to mind. I can't say this is number one, but I can say it's honestly just the first thing that came to mind, which is when we start out in life, most of us have that very wide open, innocent, like I see a little girl with her tutu and her magic wand, running around like life is magical and rainbows and unicorns, right? We all sort of come out something like that, I believe. And
That's
then
still Francesca.
You have to come.
So that's
You have to come over. Come to New
I
York
always
City.
thought that life is magical, guys. Always.
Listen, my daughter is 3.5, and yesterday I said, "Annalise, come here and give me a hug." She said, "I can't because I'm being Elsa right now." So I said, "Excuse me, Elsa, come here and give me a hug." And that was the only way. I'm being Elsa right now. Let it go. So you start out rainbows and unicorns, and then all of us, no exception, boom, something happens, right?
No, it's like living in hypnosis. Exactly.
Yeah. And what I have come to find is one of my greatest lessons in life, because I'm one of those people, my pattern, because it happened over and over after marriages, and like it just kept happening again. And like out of the, what do they say? Out of the frying pan into the fryer, like a bad thing happens with one person and then the next person's worse, right? Out of the frying pan into the fryer, really bad to really worse. So I went through all of those things, and I think a lot of us have. I got manipulated out of all of my money. I got manipulated so many times in my life. My biggest mistake was trusting, right? And so rather than becoming a victim, I had to learn that even though I'm seeing people around me become hardened, like what I would call leather skin, even though I'm seeing people around me become hardened, I've learned to not make the same mistakes I made in the past, which were mistakes of trusting people. I didn't turn to distrust, and I didn't turn to get hard, and I didn't turn to leather skin. I found this place, maybe I just got lucky, where I can still maintain the magic of life. I can still maintain being as soft as I always have been, at least on the inside. Maybe my exterior's gotten a little tougher, but I can still maintain that softness, that tenderness, and even that trust, but I trust in a different way. Mostly I'm trusting myself, and mostly I'm finding compassion for these people, and I was, but I'm no longer in, I don't think, a victim story. So the big lesson here is, as you go through life and you learn ways of surviving, becoming stronger and growing and protecting yourself, I believe that the magic of that evolution is maintaining your tenderness and softness, because getting too hardened is a new, different defense mechanism that's only going to turn inward on you.
Yeah. And all of the lessons we gain are through, of course, difficult experiences. Can be money, can be fights, can be the death of one of our parents. We all go through these big lessons of life that actually brought us back to the value we need the most. Can be tenderness, can be avoiding victimization, can be...
Yeah, allowing those experiences to make you jaded and hardened is the biggest service we can do to ourselves. You know, no one likes a jaded, hardened by life person. It's not supposed to be like that, you know?
Yeah, it's like the pendulum.
So
the pendulum's swung in the opposite way, right? So I talk often with clients who have such a tight grip on life, and I tell them, and especially even in hypnosis, because this visual is really just almost makes you feel like you're leaving your body. And I speak about when we let go of the grip of our internal organs, they don't fall out. In fact, they float. Right? They don't fall out, they just float. And so I use 3 words. There's being too careful, which most people are, especially if they're coming to us for help. They're being too careful. They're trying too hard. Their intentions are good. They want to succeed. They want to feel good. But they're all trying too hard, and they're holding too tight. And then there's the opposite, which is careless, like irresponsible, like lazy or death or failure. So people think if they let go of the grip of being too careful, they're going to instantly drop into this abyss of careless. And it's just not true. I have clients who won't take 30 minutes to watch Netflix because it equals retirement and failure to them, right? So they never let go. So when we let go of too careful and release the fear of thinking we're going to drop into careless, what we find is that place in the middle, the Aristotle golden mean of carefree. And that's where there's balance. And that's where there's compassion, and that's where there's alignment, and that's where there's clarity. So
beautiful.
Yeah. Sandy. I love your chair. That is the coolest purple chair ever. It's so cool.
Oh,
Kitty.
yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Little man. Little
so
Onyx.
Sandy just said a very difficult situation that she's been going through that also makes who she is today. Glenn, which was the most difficult experience for you? Of course, if you want to share it.
Well, I think throughout all the most difficult experiences of my life, the one lesson I wish I could have held with me was just not to worry so much in those times. You know, letting that fear that somehow my life was failing me, or that I was a failure, or that it wouldn't get better. All the things and all the wasted energy I spent with fear and doubt and worry. If I could have all that energy back, what could I have done with it? Because all the things I feared didn't happen. You know, I always had my needs met, and most of us always do, except obviously if you're somebody living in a really impoverished area and you don't have your basic needs met, that's different, because that is a reality for many people. But that's not what I'm talking about here. For most of us that live in a pretty resourceful area, right?
If you're on
always had-
Instagram now, if you're on Instagram now, you
Yeah.
live in a resourceful area.
So I'm just making that distinction because there are people that don't have the resources available to them right now that we do. But, you know, I've never gone hungry. I've always had a roof over my head. I've always had friends. I've always had my needs met. But in those moments of fear where I went to extreme worry, I didn't see those things. And I chose to see life as much harder than it really was. And so now it's like, as you age and mature, you realize most things work themselves out. And we don't need that worry and that stress. And so to just trust life a little bit more is a great place of being, and being in acceptance that another definition of insanity, not the one we always hear, another definition of insanity is to believe the world in life is supposed to be any way else than the way it is a form of insanity.
And that's assertion.
Yeah. To think that the weather, you know, what's the weather like? Is it too cold? Is it too hot? It's like, no, the weather is exactly what it's supposed to be. Because that's right?
So, Glenn, often when I work with clients, and I ask them, what do you want? You know, why are you here? What do you want? They 99% of the time tell you what they don't want. And you just did that because it's human nature to do that. So in all of that brilliance that you just spoke, the origin of your message was don't worry. And I agree. But how do we put the do in there? And I will offer you something and then tell me how you might make it even better. What I tell my clients, because you said don't worry specifically about failure. When we are in that moment where we feel that we failed, remind yourself, I haven't failed, I'm only in the middle. I haven't failed, I'm only in the middle. And that's sort of the mantra I will give to people. I haven't failed, I'm only in the middle. And I wonder how you work with your clients regarding success. That's
a much easier way to say it than I do. But I use this analogy that I heard that I really loved. I forgot where I heard it from. But he said so eloquently, if you were right now, let's say Sandy and Francesca, if today you woke up in your body where you are with everything you have in your life, like you came from some faraway place, some faraway planet, you woke up today being who you are, where you are, you would be so ecstatic with all the possibilities that you have in your life. You'd be like, oh my gosh, look at this couch. Look at this fridge full of food. Look at these friends. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this.
Look at this purple chair. I got a purple chair.
Exactly. That purple chair would be, oh my gosh, because you wouldn't have any attachments to the past that didn't exist. All you would see is a life of possibilities and beauty and fun. That's all you would know. There would be no hurt. There would be no doubt. There would be no perceived failures. You would just be playing. And so that's something I try to anchor into them to get back to that. Oh my gosh, you do have so many choices in life and so many experiences that you can create at any age if you could just shift your mind to see it that way. You know?
I love that. And by the way, to Jackie, who also loves my purple chair, I'm going to announce it now. If I die, Jackie, you can take this purple chair. But I don't know where Jackie is. I don't know how much it would cost to ship it. But you can have the purple chair.
It's on video. That means it's ironclad now. It's ironclad.
Don't kill me. Don't kill me, though. It's not worth it. Like,
I love it.
If it's okay with you guys.
Dream team, yes. Sorry, Sandy.
Okay. if it's okay with you, I want to come back to where we started this conversation and make it really specific. So somebody watching or listening from the beginning can bring this into their real world beyond just conceptually. And that's this. We talked about, okay, in the beginning of a relationship, we usually know why we're going to break up. So then,
well, not necessarily everyone. I wouldn't know because my conscious approach is different.
Because you don't look at facts.
I said no for me, Sandy, so we don't have to generalize.
Okay, fine. So this will work for you.
Conscious.
This will help you find the reasons to break up. How about that? So in the first week, there is evidence of what your breakup is going to be, and we're going to help Francesca find it. And I want to do it this way. There are red flags where you say, definitely this won't work, but there are always other color flags that where you can say, well, that's not my favorite, but that's not a deal breaker. And we need to know the difference, and we need to understand we cannot assert change in someone. And I want to give you specific examples. One example is I have dated people who were lovely, amazing, intelligent, great, what you call connection, even though you're only ever connecting to yourself, but their smell was never going to work for me. So there's a deal breaker. If somebody's right, smell is the number one deal breaker. Huh. Number one. And I don't mean like you haven't taken a shower. You know what I'm saying? Like just people's natural smell. It's often better if they haven't taken a shower. If it's a good.
One of my favorite.
For 3 days, I smell good. I'm so lucky.
So this is actually an Italian grandmother's statement. Have you heard this one, Francesca? I heard her name is, what's her name? She had a show called Bitchin' Kitchen, and she was hysterical. She was a chef. She's a chef. God, why do I not know her name? But she said her grandmother told her, if you smell somebody else's armpit and it smells bad to you, you're not supposed to be with that person. And if you smell their armpit and it doesn't smell bad to you, that's how you know you're supposed to be connected.
Bingo, done.
But
and he didn't really mean armpit.
It sounds so superficial to say I'm not going to date someone for the smell. Sorry, guys. For me, about love, we cannot play like this.
You would stay with the guy who smells doesn't act.
Fixed. If you fall in love, like we find a solution.
Wait, you would be with a stinky guy?
Well, it depends if there is love or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
A stinky guy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's if you like their smell.
If I would fall in love, but of course, I already have my lover, so.
Yeah, she's European. She's European. Okay, so here is an example of where I would agree with you guys.
European sense.
You just said she's European.
American style, exactly.
Listen, I am a full-blooded American. I went camping, and there were these like camping people, you know the kind I'm talking about, camping people. I'm in New York City. These were camping people, and I was like 50 feet from them, and they said, oh my God, you're not used to camping. And I'm like, how do you know? They're like, we could smell you from here because I smell really good. And apparently, you know what I'm saying? So people who go camping and Europeans, they would do very well.
But Sandy, I think you have a bad experience with camping. I love camping.
Oh, I hate camping.
And I used to love it. It's not really comfortable.
I'm never going to get out.
To be in Botswana like I did, and I was sleeping on the top of the car with the most comfortable tent, and I was sleeping wherever I wanted with the monkeys in the desert. I mean, this is life.
But the desert has a good smell.
Yeah.
The desert has a good smell.
Go to resorts. I love camping and resorts. It's great.
Oh my God, I'm there with you, Glenn. I'm there. Yeah. I'm there. All right. If I can finish this thought, there are major red flags that are unchangeable. Smell is one of them. If somebody makes you responsible for how they feel, all those things are red flags that you're not going to ever change that. Here's one that I actually did work with, and you can check with me next year and the year after, because I think this is really a forever relationship for me. When I first started dating Jen, I went to her apartment and I walked into the kitchen. I was like, what's that smell? and I realized it was the sponge. And it was disgusting. So Jen eats salad all the time, and the salad dressing with the garlic and everything. And so, of course, if I'm washing a salad bowl, I use my hand first to get all the gooky stuff out, and the sponge is the very last thing. Well, she'll just put the sponge right in all the gook. Okay, and then on top of that, you know how sometimes you use too much soap? You know what I'm talking about? And so Jen's like, well, maybe I should save soap and just leave it in there for next time. So can you imagine? Anyway, I bought her new sponges, and I explained to her how you use a sponge, clean it when you're done, and there's the microwave, 1 minute sponge in the microwave will kill this stuff. And she said, oh gosh, I didn't even realize, and I'm so happy to do that for you, Sandy. Well, cut to, every time I went there, the sponges were stinky, and so then I had to make a decision. If we are going to move in together and have children together, I'm going to have to deal with stinky sponges. Can I do that? Because this is never going to change. So we moved in together, stinky sponge. I bought my own sponge, and I put it behind the bowl with the scissors and the tape.
Also, bad smell doesn't make you laugh, guys. To me, yes. When I smell a bad smell, I laugh immediately. So.
Oh, just the word smell? Anyway, so I had to really get okay with it. So now, when I go into a stinky kitchen, which is my kitchen, I don't get mad. It just reminds me how much I love Jen, and I had to change my relationship to the sponge. I never eat at home, by the way. That's why I paid $6 for this coffee. I can't use my kitchen. But I love Jen.
You don't like it?
No, because I can't stand the smell. Honestly, I can't stand the smell.
I'll talk to Jen about her stinky sponge behavior.
Good luck if you can inspire and or influence Jen's sponge. I let it go because Jen smells good.
Glenn and I will influence you with the juices. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ew. With your juices?
Fragrance. Fragrance. That's the word.
So if you are going to stay with someone, just ask yourself, can I fully love them through this? And if you can, change your relationship to the this. That's the only thing you can do.
I gotcha. Wow, another Thursday. We hit our hour.
We did.
So we're going to get that tattooed on Francesca's arm, what Jackie said. She goes, I want to get that tattooed. You want to be with a stinky guy. Put that right on your arm. That's just magic. That's magic.
Francesca, when you wash the salad bowl, don't you use your fingers first and then the sponge?
I have to admit, I mean, sometimes I'm not obsessed by washing my hands all the time. I'm an artist, so I love being dirty sometimes. I like it.
How do you wash a bowl with salad dressing?
Just get one of those brushes that hold soap. They don't stink. Get rid of the sponges. You know what I mean? It's a little hand thing.
But guys, are we talking about soap at home?
That's the best.
Wait, you don't have soap? What did you say? You don't have soap?
Yes, I do. But what I'm saying is that
obsessed.
I'm not obsessed by all these chemical, perfumed, washing stuff, because first of all, it's bad for the skin. I never had a problem on my skin because of this. Washing too much is not good unless you use truly neutral products for the skin, because we don't want to perfume well and then our skin ages so fast. We want to put
Glenn's showing us a scrubby
salt
already
ever in my life.
Can I have one for my birthday? Will you get me one?
Yes. No smell. Throw the sponges out. Get this.
Thank you.
Solved.
Send me an Amazon link to that.
Yes. And you're good. Just keep throwing the sponges away. And
you just improved my relationship. You influenced my relationship in a positive way.
Exactly. So, all right, kids. Francesca, why don't you wrap us up for this amazing Thursday until next week?
Well, guys, you are a dream team. I love talking to you. I love the fact that we have different ways, and I hope we're going to have different guests next time, because many people, I feel, even friends I'm talking to, are a bit shy. I think we have to convince them somehow. Maybe we can have a little Zoom session with them, the three of us, in private, and talk to them about topics we can share about, because I believe what's beautiful about us is that people feel comfortable and people must share their experiences with us. live, so we can inspire many other people together with our guests.
And the fact that we do it digitally, you could smell as bad as you want. We'll still see it. We'll still see it. So go download the 3 Ways podcast. We love you.
Yeah.
We love you.
Awesome. See you in a week.
Bye. Love you guys. Bye.